Safety is the ability to avoid impacts and to withstand those impacts that cannot be avoided. The main objective of automotive safety research is to save lives. Regardless of how the car is used, no matter how big or small the occupants are, and regardless where they are inside the car. For SAAB, safety has always been a fundamental factor in designing cars, understandable considering its aviation heritage. Active safety has been tested in countless rallies. Active safety in a car is its ability to help the driver avoid accidents. Front-wheel drive, positive steering and good brakes are examples of active safety features. Passive safety is the car's ability to protect the occupants of a car when an accident cannot be avoided. The first SAAB had a rugged steel cage body that protected the passenger compartment. The windscreen pillars were equipped with sections of special alloy steel, and the fuel tank was located in the safest place, between the rear wheels. In the early days, safety tests were simple. Barrier tests, which became mandatory at the end of the 60s, have since been supplemented by SAAB's own special tests and have become increasingly advanced. Engineers now also use computers to simulate and evaluate crashes. Over the years, SAAB has introduced a number of safety innovations. The 1971 models were equipped with headlamp wipers. The following year, impact-absorbing bumpers were introduced. They do more than absorb the energy of the impact. Together with the car's smooth, rounded shape, they also reduce the risk of injury to pedestrians. In 1971, SAAB was awarded one of the world's most coveted distinctions for safety. And a 1985 American study found that the cost of personal injuries suffered in the SAAB 900 was 30% lower than for the average car. Traffic safety is affected by factors which have absolutely nothing to do with the characteristics of the car. A driver under pressure is a poor driver. Ideally, driving a car should be carried out so that the driver never has to use the car's active safety system. But even the most far-sighted driver can suddenly find himself in a critical situation. And when that happens, the car must offer him the means of getting out of trouble. The chassis must be designed to handle curbs at high speeds. And the driver must be able to avoid trouble without getting into a skid. The engine should have a power reserve. Sometimes it's just as wise to accelerate out of a critical situation than to use the brakes. Performance is not an end in itself. It can also be a part of the car's active safety system. The turbo engine is one of many SAAB innovations for greater safety. It was introduced in 1977. SAAB introduced another safety improvement 15 years earlier, the diagonally split brake system. Together with large disc brakes all round, it's an extremely effective brake system. But anti-lock brakes are even more effective and can sometimes rescue a driver from a tight spot. The SAAB 9000 can be equipped with anti-lock brakes, especially designed for front-wheel drive cars. With them, the driver can still steer the car, even if he panics and slams on the brakes. The anti-lock brake system has 3 brake circuits. They provide straight-ahead braking, even if the wheels are rolling on different road surfaces. The ability of the car to behave consistently, regardless of the road surface, load and speed. The ability of the car to react quickly and correctly, and to let the driver know via the steering wheel and the seat how the car is reacting, and how the car behaves when being driven close to or even at the breakaway limit. These are the most important factors that affect a car's road holding and driving performance. The chassis design has the largest single influence on how the car behaves on the road, and is thus an important part of the car's active safety system. The chassis design is also extremely important in determining how comfortable a car is. A well-balanced suspension lets the driver relax, and a relaxed driver reacts quickly and correctly. Safety also requires that the driver can read the instruments and reach the controls without effort. Passive safety comprises the features which ultimately protect the driver and the passengers should a collision occur. SAAB set up an accident commission in 1970. Its job is to investigate all serious accidents in Sweden involving SAAB cars. The Accident Commission collects statistics on vehicle damage and occupant injuries. These findings serve as the basis for increasing crash safety and for reducing damage and injuries. The Commission works closely with medical experts and with the Chalmers Institute of Technology in Gothenburg, the Swedish Road and Traffic Research Institute, and others. Around 200 crash tests are carried out in SAAB's crash laboratory each year. The dummies used in the tests are fitted with advanced measuring equipment, and they're similar to humans in terms of structure, weight, and movement. Sensors in the dummies provide precise measurements of the stresses applied to the head, chest, lower back, and thighs. Each component of the car's interior has been specially designed to absorb energy. The steering wheel and steering column collapse, and all surfaces are padded or are made of material that yields to impacts. To protect the occupants, the interior is surrounded by a safety cage. Crumple zones gradually absorb kinetic energy from the front and from the rear. On the crash track, great efforts are made to simulate everyday conditions with crashes at different speeds and of different types. All crash data are fed into a computer for analysis. The crash sequence is studied thoroughly using high-speed photography. The findings are used in our never-ceasing efforts to make cars safer. But almost all of this is in vain if you don't fasten your seatbelt. The seatbelt is the single most important passive safety feature in any car. In a frontal collision at 30 miles per hour, the kinetic energy of a person weighing 165 pounds is equivalent to over 2 tons. With a seatbelt, you have a good chance of getting away with a few bruises. The same laws apply in the backrest of the front seat is not meant to absorb impacts from the rear. It becomes a death trap for the driver. The main objective of automotive safety research is to save lives. And this applies to everyone, whether driving for business or for pleasure.